What's up, everybody? Captain Gonzo with that Flight Sim channel. We're here checking out Sim Update 4 Beta in VR using none other than the Pimax Super. Just for clarification, you guys might have heard it by now. 5090, 64 gigs of RAM, 7950 X3D. And we're just checking out how the Sim Update 4 Beta runs. Now, before I get started, let me just go over to my settings and show you guys what we've got. So we're gonna go up to the VR tab, VR graphics, and you can see we've got NVIDIA DLSS quality, foveated rendering enabled. I am trying it out this time, including it on the Pimax Play software. Everything is gonna stay pretty much the same as you see it. I'm gonna show you my graphics settings pretty much on high with clouds and texture resolution set to ultra. A few things there on medium, that's just mostly for airport traffic and all kinds of nonsense that I don't really care about. So let's just get right into it. Let's see if we can get it airborne. Now, just a word of caution. I just tried this with the Coronado Cessna 210, and for some reason, my rudder inputs were not really working. So I'm not sure if it's something with the weather or if it's something with my hardware, but I hope it's not an issue here. I'm just going through changing out. There we go. I've got my 750 and 650 over there. Let me just make sure everything is set correctly. Set the fuel pump there. Go to map. Yeah, why not? And let's just get airborne, see what it looks like. But you can see right now we've got some thunderstorms here. We are in St. Thomas, right near our native land of Puerto Rico, where Captain Flaco and I were born. Spent most of our childhood there. Here we go. So far, it is running pretty smooth, I gotta tell you. Not that I can notice a significant difference, not yet at least, but I'm happy with the way the sim is performing. Here we go, we're airborne. Gear coming up. A little bit of lag and stutter there, but I think it's just flight simulator stuff. One thing I tell Captain Flaco every single time, and I know I'm gonna get berated for this because I'm comparing apples to oranges, but I hate how Flight Sim just hasn't gotten VR down packed yet. But you go to like DCS World and everything is so fine-tuned for VR, at least in my experience. Even before I upgraded to the 5090 using my 4080, the sim just runs so good. Everything looks crisp and sharp. Now, it looks a lot better, I will tell you. I can read everything on my panel here, especially the GTN 750. But there's still a level of fuzziness, if that makes any sense, that I'm still a little bit not 100% content with. But again, that's just my personal opinion. I might be demanding too much. But again, in comparison, or in contrast, looking at DCS World, we get such sharp visuals. Now, this is great though. This is phenomenal. I can still read everything that I need to read and look at the level of detail. Look at the water, looking great. So you know what? Whoa, look at that wind. You guys saw that? My plane just decided to bank. But it looks great. Here we are in VNO. We're in the yellow, the amber part of our airspeed tape there. So we got to stay in nice, smooth, clean air. Hopefully that's the case. There we go. We're trimmed out. We're going to reduce manifold pressure just a bit here. Reduce RPMs. Oh, there we go. So it's not even correctly mapped. Awesome. One of my gripes here with Flight Sim 2024 is how convoluted the controls and the key bindings have become. That is just my personal experience. But anyways, let's focus on what we're here to talk about. This is a very short, simple video. I'm just gonna do some sightseeing here for a few minutes and show you what the performance is like with the settings I just showed you. Look at that cruise ship. Now we know that's just default modeling here from Flight Sim, so I'm not expecting to be able to tell if that's a Royal Caribbean or a Carnival, but it looks great. Look at the clouds. Loving the scenery here. That's why I chose the thunderstorm setting, because I think it really adds so much life and environment to your flight sim flight in general. And I love how you can see the rain out there in the distance. Everything is looking a-okay. So let's keep flying around, see what we can discover here, and then we'll probably just come back around and land. Let me just make sure I am actually recording. Yep. That would be embarrassing if I was recording my own camera, recording myself and talking, and then I've got nothing to show you guys, and I'd be very, very disappointed. But guys, look at the frame rates. It's hard to judge with what you're seeing on your screen right now, right? Because this is just a mirror using OBS of what I'm seeing through my lenses. Now, one key thing to point out with the new Sim Update 4 beta is that now we finally have support for single lens projection on your monitor. So if you're just gonna do a screen capture and just get a recording, now you can finally get what I've been wanting forever, which is Flight Sim to support that single lens recording so that you don't get the dual lens view. That's kind of annoying, you know, because when you're trying to show a good recording of your experience in Flight Simulator in VR, it's not 100% accurate when you've got both lenses and then you got to crop and zoom in on one lens, and then now you're just distorting and reducing the quality that you're going to put out. And it's a mistake that I've made for the past year as I've been exploring Flight Simulator settings. But anyways, you can see we've got some interesting winds here because the plane is just randomly banking left and right. Look at this, I'm just hugging this hill here. Let's just overfly St. Thomas and then we're gonna circle around to land. But guys, let's go on the exterior here for a second and take a look. Oh, wait, give me 1 second. I have to map this. So I'm gonna pause the recording here for just a second. There we go, so we're back now. We've got our controls properly binded now. Now I can switch to the exterior. Wow, my flaps were up the whole time, or down, no wonder. But check it out. We're flying here over St. Thomas. Look how smooth it is to pan. You can see the scenery nice and clear. No traffic again because I disabled all the default aircraft models. But I think this is more than acceptable for Flight Simulator in VR. Again, not perfect by any means, but it is plenty for what we need here. Now let's go ahead and circle back around and bring this arrow down to land. Really, really love the water out here in the Caribbean because as you go towards the shore, and you see that, by the way, you see how quickly the aircraft banked. That is not me, guys. You can see, hopefully you can see my yoke in the frame here. I am not just randomly banking left or right. This just seems to be something with the winds right now with this weather system around us, and it's fine. We're not here to showcase flying skills. We're just doing a quick loop here just to see what performance is like. Let's keep slowing down. A little bit of a slip here. See if we can bleed off some airspeed. Looking amazing. Again, not quite as sharp as what I'm used to in DCS World, but we're comparing two very different platforms, very different graphics engines. And of course, DCS has been focusing on smaller, maps. You only got to worry about specific maps and regions of the Earth, whereas Flight Simulator, it's doing the entire globe in one 3D model here. So I know, very different, but just something that I wanted to point out. Let's configure for landing. We're in the white band of our VFE. We're gonna do kind of like a short approach here. Oh, I just had a bit of a lag there. Hopefully you saw that on the screen. And we're definitely gonna be landing here with a tailwind, just judging by the waves and the white caps going towards that way, but it's okay. Here we go. Don't try this at home, kids. Don't land with tailwinds. Not good. Here we go. Bleeding off that airspeed, bleeding off the airspeed. And let's straighten out the nose. There we go. Nice and easy. Guys, nothing really much more to see or do here. Wanted to show you some raw footage, some raw performance with my setup right now using the Pimax Crystal Super, again, sent to us for a period of 3 months to review. And so we're throwing everything we can at this headset to really get a grasp and determine whether or not this headset is worth the bang or for the buck, right? Because I know a lot of people are quick to point out, hey, Gonzo, yeah, it's nice, it's cool, the resolution, but we're talking a $1,700 at a minimum headset. Let's just say $2,000 headset, right? Because after you pay for shipping, taxes, and all that, it does stack up. Guys, I get it, trust me, and believe me, if Pimax hadn't sent this to me, I probably would have hesitated to order the Pimax Super because I already have a Crystal Light, and I think it is more than plenty at the price point. We're talking $700 US, give or take a few more bucks depending on, if you get the one with local dimming or not. Just remember, the Crystal Light does not offer dynamic foveated rendering and eye tracking. Instead, you get fixed foveated rendering. But that's one thing that I've noticed with the Super is that ability to just scan around the cockpit and pick up the clarity as that DFR is following your eyes. And so what it does is it brings those areas that you're looking at into sharp detail and focus whilst preserving your performance and your hardware usage. But guys, again, nothing much more to say or do here. Just wanted to give you a quick take on what the Crystal Super is like with the SIM Update 4 beta. So far, this is my second flight, just messing around in flight sim with SU4 beta, and I have no complaints. It's actually pretty stable for what it is right now. I thought I was going to have a few more bugs and issues or crash to desktops like I experienced with the previous betas. That is not the case. I think Asobo is finally on the right path, especially for us that are trying to get the best experience possible with sim updates of simming with VR. There's people out there that are exclusive VR flight simmers, and so if you're wondering if the beta is worth it, I highly advise that you give it a shot. No matter what hardware you're using, just get in there and see if Asobo have finally optimized this sim for your style and for your needs. All right, guys, well, I'm gonna cut the video here. I appreciate you checking it out. I'm sorry that I didn't include the live diagnostics where you can see my frame rates per second. But right now, just judging by the way I am running and looking around, I would say I'm somewhere in the 40 to 50 range, again, because I am using the 5090. So if you're somewhere below me or below this hardware, sorry, and I mean that, you know, humbly, I'm not trying to say people have lesser equipment. I'm just trying to say I bought the 5090 for this reason right here, to really push the Pimax Super to the fullest capacity available. So guys, give it a shot. Go ahead and get signed up. If you're not familiar with how to get signed up for the beta, I will provide the link in the description so you guys can get familiar with that. It is a little bit different nowadays. Once you do it, all you got to do is go to that Xbox Insider Hub, join the preview, which is the beta, and then you restart your computer, I believe, or the next time you fire up the sim, it'll prompt you to update and it'll install the update, and then now you're in beta. So give it a shot, guys. Thanks for watching. This is Captain Gonzo with that Fly Sim channel, and we'll see you guys all on the next one very soon.